Hello, welcome to class everyone. This is Learning Based Academy, and this class is mathematics class for junior secondary school 1 to 3. Let's go ahead and write today's date. Today is Monday, 30th June 2025, and happy last day of the month of June. If you can hear me, type 1000 in the chat. If you can hear me, type 1000 in the chat. If you can hear me, type 1000 in the chat. Type 1000 in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me, type 1000 in the chat, everyone. All right, welcome to class. It's nice having everyone in the class. All right. Okay, so this is maths class, and we will continue with what we started in this class by solving more questions relating to angles and triangles. It's very important that you keep learning that so you don't forget. All right, we'll be learning angles in triangles and between lines. Angles in triangles and between lines. In the last class, we learned different types of angles. At this point, I'm going to close the chat to avoid distractions, all right? So pay full attention. When you're not asked to type, please do not type. Okay, so angles and triangles and angles between lines. Now let us look at some examples together. Find the missing angles. Find the missing angles in the diagrams below. Find the missing angles in the diagrams below. All right, so here is number 1. So I have a triangle right here. Right here we have 75 degrees. We have 75 degrees, and the next angle we have 40 degrees. We need to find angle X. We are supposed to have 3 angles in this triangle, but we have been given only 2 angles. How do we find the third angle? In this case, you always have to use the formula which says sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So which means we have to add up the angles together to give us 180 degrees. So that will be X plus 75 degrees plus 40 degrees equals 180 degrees. So this is an equation, which means we have to find the value of the unknown. So X plus 75 plus 40 will give us 115 degrees equals 180 degrees. So to find the value of X, we have to subtract 115 from both sides. X is equal to 180 degrees minus 115 degrees. X is equal to 65 degrees. So that is the missing angle in the triangle. Make sure you write this down. Write this down in your notebook now. Write this in your notebook now. We are moving on to the next question. All right, so question 2. Moving on to question 2, I have this. All right, so right here I have 58 degrees, 2x, x, and I have to find the angle x and the angle 2x. So I have two missing angles in this diagram. Now, if you look at this diagram very well, you will see that it's a straight line. The angles on the diagram are all on a straight line. So we will say that sum of angles, we will say that sum of angles equals 180 degrees. Sum of angles on a straight line equals 180 degrees. So that will be x plus 2x plus 58 degrees equals 180 degrees. X plus 2x is 3x. 3x plus 58 degrees will be equal to 180 degrees. So we have to subtract 58 degrees from both sides. So that would be 3x is equal to 180 degrees minus 58 degrees. All right. So 3x will be equal to 122 degrees. To get the value of x, we divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 122 all over 3. So let's divide. 3 goes into 120. That will give us 40, remainder 2. 3 goes into 2 is impossible. Place a decimal point and place 0 beside the 2. Makes it 20. 3 goes into 20. That's 6, remainder 2. Do the same thing again. You have 6. You have 6. Let's just stop at this point. So that is 40.6 degrees. 40.6 degrees. That's the answer to question 2, but that is the value of x. So what would be 2x? If x is equal to 40.6 degrees, what is 2x? 2x means 2 times x, and that is 2 times 40.6 degrees. That will give us 81.2 degrees. So we've been able to get the value of x, which is 40.6 degrees, value of 2x, which is 81.2 degrees. I hope you understand, everyone. Write what I have on the screen in your exercise book quickly. Write what is on the screen in your exercise book. I'm waiting. If this is your first time learning at Learning Base Academy, or you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, click on the subscribe button now and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so moving on to another example, that would be example 3. We are still finding the missing angles. Okay, so right here we have 112 degrees. I have M right here. Then right here I have 72 degrees. And I have letter Q right here. So we have two unknown angles in this diagram. How do we find the unknown angle? How do we find the unknown angle? Now, if you observe very well, you will see that M and 112 degrees are angles on a straight line. This straight line is lettered point A to point B. Point A to point B form a straight line. Now we have angle M and angle 112 degrees on a straight line. And on the other side of the straight line, we also have angle Q and angle 72 degrees. Now, all these angles are meeting at a point. Don't forget angles at a point. But let's find the value of M first. M plus 112 degrees will give us 180 degrees, right? The reason is there are some of angles on a straight line, all right? So M is equal to 180 minus 112 degrees. So the value of M is 68 degrees, right? So we have gotten the value of M. Now, you can also use sum of angles on a straight line to find the value of Q. All right, that is 72 plus Q will give us 180 degrees. All right, and to get the value of Q, subtract 72 from both sides. So 180 minus 72, that will give us 108 degrees. You can do it like this, or use sum of angles on a straight line. Sum of angles at a point equal to 360 degrees. All these angles are meeting at a point. They are all meeting together at a point. Add them up together. Q plus M plus 72 degrees plus 112 degrees will give us 360 degrees. Now, what is the value of M? We already got M. M is 68 degrees. So that will be Q plus 68 degrees plus 72 degrees plus 112 degrees equals 360 degrees. Now, Q plus, let's add them up together. 68 plus 72, that will give us 140. And 140 plus 112, 240, 252. So that will be 252. All right, 252 degrees equals 360 degrees. Now let's find the value of Q. Q is equal to 360 degrees minus 252 degrees. Is equal to 108 degrees. So the value of Q, you can see that we got the same thing. All right. We used the sum of angles on a straight line because we had straight line A to B. Then we also use sum of angles on a straight line. I mean, sum of angles at a point. We got the same answer. So the most important thing is for you to understand what is being done right here. All right, so take this down in your exercise book. Take this down and let's move on to the next example. Take this down and let's move on to the next example. All right, so moving on to example 4. There is something I'm going to also reminding you of this. Now, when you have angles that are formed in an X diagram, we call those angles vertically opposite angles. They are angles that are formed when you have an X diagram. All right. So right here, I have 89 degrees. Oh, it's more than that. I have 100 degrees right here. Right here, I will need to find angle H. Okay. And right here, I have G. Right on the side, I have angle K. All right. Now, let us look at it very well. How do we find angle H, angle K, and angle G? Now, don't forget that I said that the angles that are formed in an X diagram are called vertically opposite angles. They are called vertically opposite angles. All right. Now, angle H is equal to 100 degrees. The reason is because the angles are vertically opposite. Vertically opposite angles are equal. So if we have 100 above right here, the angle opposite it is also 100 degrees. That's because they are vertically opposite, and vertically opposite angles are equal. Now, how do we find angle H? Sorry, angle G. Now, G and 100 degrees are on a straight line. So sum of angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. G plus 100 degrees is equal to 180 degrees because the angle 100 right here and angle G right here are on a straight line AB. Okay, they are on a straight line AB. They are also called adjacent angles. They are called supplementary angles because both should add up to 180 degrees. So to get the angle G, we subtract 100 degrees from 180 degrees. The answer is equal to 80 degrees. So angle G right here is 80 degrees. So if angle G is 80 degrees, K is also 80 degrees. The reason is they are vertically opposite angles. So K is vertically opposite to G. All right. Angle K is vertically opposite to angle G. So anytime you have an X diagram, the angles formed are vertically opposite to each other. And when they are vertically opposite to each other, they are equal. Vertically opposite angles are equal. Vertically opposite angles are equal. Now listen attentively to me. If you are following me at this point, this is after solving example 4. If you're following me, add 3 to the double of the answer that we got on number 4. You are going to submit this action to me at the end of the class. We got C for letter K. That is your activity, and I want you to submit this activity at the end of the class. We got 80 degrees for letter K. Instruction is add 3 to the double of angle K. Add 3 to the double of angle K. What is angle K? It is on my screen. You can see it on my screen. That is your activity. You will be submitting it at the end of this class. You're going to be submitting it at the end of this class. If you are able to submit and your answer is right, and you are among the first three people, the first three students who will submit my question to me tonight at the end of the class, not now. I'm checking the time. I'm going to tell you when to submit. If you submit now, I'm not going to acknowledge it. You have to submit as soon as I end the class. So I'm saying if you submit now at 8:37, I will not acknowledge it. I'll check the time that will end the class, and that is the only ones that I will acknowledge, as long as you are among the first three that will post it to me on WhatsApp. Now, which WhatsApp are you going to post it to? So it's not everybody that will still get my reward. I'll tell you the reward. Now you're going to post it on this WhatsApp 08113611632. You will send your answer. Okay, you're going to send your answer personally to me at the end of the class. I'm going to remind you to send your answer. If you send it now, you will not get the reward. Now, what's the reward? Before I tell you what the reward is, listen to the question for the last time. I won't tell you the question again once I mention the reward. Add 3 to the double of angle K. Add 3 to the double of angle K. Good. Now, for the first 3 students who have been consistent in my class, if you are consistent and you've been listening, if you are among the first 3 to submit, I'm going to send an airtime of 400 naira to you. Yes, I'm going to give you airtime on your phone of 400 naira. That is for only the first 3 who will submit exactly the time I end the class. Now, before you even submit, I'm going to give you the second activity, and I won't tell you what it is now until I'm done with the class. That will help me know those who have been paying attention. All right, next question, that's question 5. All right, I have another X diagram. Okay, so right here, I have 89 degrees. Right here, I have M. Right here, I have N. And right here, I have P. All right. So, how do I get my angle M? M and 89 degrees are on a straight line. So that's M plus 89 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. But please pay attention. I'm going to reverse something. Now, in this opposite angle to M, watch what I'm doing right here. Okay, so here is my question finally. Now, angle M and 89 degrees are on a straight line. Angle M and 89 degrees are on a straight line. So sum of angles on a straight line, sum of angles 80 degrees. So that will be M degrees is equals 180. M is equal to 180 degrees minus 89 degrees. So what will be our answer? That's 101 degree. Am I right? Or 91 degrees? Yes, 91 degrees. So that's the answer to angle M. Now, the reason is sum of angles on a straight line. So I'll always write the reason. Angles on a straight line. We have gotten angle M. Now, what will be angle N? Angle N is vertically opposite to 89 degrees and they are equal. So angle N is equal to 89 degrees, vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. Now, this is what is going to happen. What will be the value for angle P? What will be the value for angle P? Vertically opposite angles are equal. That's to tell you that this angle M is vertically to this angle in total, where P and 50 degrees are. So you will be the one to answer this question. What is the value of angle P? That is the second question that I'll be expecting you to send to me. I'll be expecting this answer also, and that will now finally qualify you for the 400 naira airtime. All right, that will finally qualify you for the 400 naira airtime. Yes. So let's see those who have been paying attention. Now, question 6. Question 6. Pay attention to question 6. If you're paying attention, I will know. Now, let's look at this triangle. Okay, right here, I have 86 degrees. Yes, I have 86 degrees. In here, I'm to find angle M. Okay, right here, I have R, angle R, and above here, I have 62 degrees. All right, so how do we get the answer? How do we get angle R, or how do we get angle M? Okay, everyone. In the last class, I explained angles, exterior angles of a triangle. And I told you that to get the exterior angle of a triangle, you have to add up the two interior angles. You have to add up the two opposite interior angles. The two angles that are opposite or that are facing the exterior angles. You add them up together, that will give you that. So it's either we say R plus 62 degrees gives us the exterior angle, that's 86 degrees. All right. Or we say to get another thing we can do to get the value of M, because before you get R, you may have to get M. You can also say M and 86 degrees are angles on a straight line. So M plus 86 equals 180 degrees. Once you get your value for M, you can come back and get that of R. Whichever way you do that, you're going to get the same answer. Now let's start with the first one, which is R plus 62 degrees is equal to 86 degrees. The reason I gave is that these two opposite angles, they are facing the exterior angle. The exterior angle is 86 degrees, and the interior angles facing the exterior angles are R and 62. So adding up these two together will give us the exterior angle. R is equal to 86 minus 62 degrees. R is equal to 24 degrees. So the value of R is 24 degrees. So how do we get M? M plus 86 degrees gives 180. All right. So and for us to get our M, we subtract 86 from both sides. M is equal to 180 minus 86. M is equal to 94 degrees. So the value of M is 94 degrees. So by the time we add M, R, and 62 together, we should be able to get 180 degrees. So let's check. M is 94 plus R. R is 24 plus 62. Will it give us 180? 2 plus 4 plus 4 is 10. 0 carry 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12, and 12 plus 6 is 180. The answer is correct. All right, I'm waiting for you to be done writing. We're going to take another example on this exterior angle of a triangle. That will be example 7. Example 7. Okay, so for example 7, we need to find the value of y and the value of h. Now, y and 60 degrees are on a straight line. So we can say y plus 60 equals to 180. Y is equal to 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. Y is equal to 120 degrees. So you can see how simple it is to find the exterior angle. Now, how do we get angle H? All right, sum of angles in the triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So that will be 60 plus 48 plus 8 equals 180. 60 plus 48 is 108 degrees plus 8. That will give us 180. All right, now let's make H the subject of the formula. H equals 180 minus 108 degrees. H is equal to 72 degrees. So we've been able to get the answer to H. You have to always come back to this YouTube channel to attend this class again and again and again on angles. For all the classes we have had on angles, make sure you attempt them or watch them before you sit for your examination. All right? Now, the last instruction I'm going to give to you, everyone. For this last instruction, divide the value of h, divide the value of h by the square of 6. Divide the value of h by the square of 6. Divide the value of h by the square of 6. Do that and submit. So you have 3 instructions to be able to earn 400 naira airtime from Mrs. Grace. Thank you very much for coming to class. Have a wonderful time. Goodbye.